you may be wondering, Malachi, why is it so dark in your room? Very simply, my PC was overheating and lagging really bad earlier. No, just like the weather we had in St. Louis the other day. I don't live in St. Louis. I'm going to be doing some, I don't know, news roundup, some stuff that I found interesting that you might all like. What? I'm not using ad blocker. I don't know what you're talking about. Who would be using ad blocker? But as you may all have been aware, there was a new Toy Story movie. Lightyear. Chris Evans going from Captain America to Space Ranger. You know, Star Spangled Patriot to Star Spangled Space Explorer. Other big news with it. It was the first animated on-screen lesbian kiss. I think. I think that was the whole big to-do and fuzz about this movie. You know, it got banned in some... Well, it was possibly getting banned. It was banned in some Asian countries for having that scene. And supposedly that scene has been censored from the Latin America continent, or Latin America markets, but I don't know of anything else beyond that. But obviously, big to do because getting banned from a country means no money. And Lightyear did not make money. Let's see. We've got a domestic of 57 million, international 33 million, worldwide 90 million. Seems great. 90 million bucks? That's a lot of money. A lot of money, however, compared to what their budget of 200 million. If not more, because budget is very, very hard to pinpoint unless they straight up tell you. But this one was a big one. However, I am confused because I don't think that they marketed it that much. I think they were going off of the idea that Lightyear, Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story, Pixar, boom, hook, line, and sinker, should just straight away be a dead victory. But no. Didn't seem to do that well. Controversy is never good for a film. Never. Because that means it draws unwanted eyes. But it can also cause eyes that were like, oh, I heard about this thing, but I don't really keep up with it. Like, if you keep up with a film's development and production, it can change your opinion of how it's going to go and if you're going to go see it or not. And maybe you just don't pay attention to it. And therefore, you're like, oh, you see an ad for it, and you're like, movie. Maybe I'll go see it because that's what movies are for. But then if there's drawing in a bunch of negative feedback or just controversy because of what is in the movie, which I don't understand for this one because I feel like if people had just shut up and didn't bring it up, nobody would have really made a big to-do about it until they saw the movie, and then it would have spread around just like dozens of other movies. One movie that comes to mind is Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker had a lesbian kiss in it that we didn't know about it until like the day of the movie coming out because people had seen it and were like, oh yeah, there's a lesbian kiss in it. So that obviously would be like, oh, okay, so that's new, but people are already going to see it. Are people homophobes, or are they just not wanting to see this sort of stuff pushed in children's movies? Everyone that seems to be talking about it in a negative light. They don't seem to like it or anything like that. But kind of just a lackluster film. Then just why aren't people watching it? My theory goes into the whole idea of when this movie came out, or when it was first announced, is a movie we really wanted. We've already had this character, Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. We've already had this character in 4 other movies, not to mention all the different, like, animated shows and whatnot that they've done over the years in between the movies. So Buzz, Woody, Jesse, the whole rest of the gang, their story has already been said. And with the send-off of 3 and 4, honestly, because both of those were just, I don't know. Money is the real answer. Because if you can get money from something, yeah, do it. So obviously, Toy Story, big, huge franchise for Pixar. But then, it's something people really want. Top Gun, $900 million. Dude, $900 million? That's crazy. That's $900 million. Especially off of a budget of $185 million, I believe it was. They've made back buckets of money. So Top Gun is riding high. It's been 20 years since the first Top Gun. So people are like, oh, let's see. And even though this one was stuck in like development hell for so long, people seem to really just want to see what's going on with that series and Tom Cruise, because this was supposed to come out like 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago. 2020. Pretty much for the older generation. But I think plenty of people that are fans of the original will take their kids to see it. I'll probably end up going to see it with my dad. I still haven't seen it. I don't see a lot of movies that have released into theaters. Let's go into a movie that is about to theoretically release. Very up in the air. So, Chad, I don't know if you've heard of this. I didn't hear about it until earlier today. I saw some people tweeting about it because Twitter is the place to go if you to know that anything is racist anywhere. Because obviously, that's just where you go. SpiderMan Lotus. It was a fan project that was announced last year. I think I don't know too much of the following. I haven't been following it, but it gained some traction because it was a fan Spider-Man film that people were hyped for, are still hyped for. It's a little hard to tell, especially since some of the news around it I've seen is not good. So obviously the big thing, fan film, SpiderMan Lotus. It follows up the death of Gwen Stacy and Peter reeling from that. So kind of like following up the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but considering, Gwen Stacy's death is a normal thing for the comics at this point. The main leading man, Warden Wayne. Yeah, Warden Wayne. So, Warden Wayne, he was not exactly the most kind with his words about certain skin colors, I guess you could say, or just ethnicity groups. It came out, I think it was yesterday. It was leaked, and then the guy wrote a formal apology to his Twitter. The main reason I bring this up is because of the bigger reason, the bigger problem that I see. Because he cites his reasoning for being or saying those things in the messages. It stemmed from his Christian upbringing in, Arkansas, I believe. That is a big doozy for me because, obviously, as a Christian, I do not condone any sort of homophobia or racism, any sort of thing, because obviously God created us all equal. We are all created his image, and using words that are demeaning to other races or your own race or however you want to put it. Why is it that these instances of like racism and homophobia are so prevalent in Christian circles? Because online it seems like every Christian you meet is a horrible racist and would not spare a single cent of change to like do something horrible. But every Christian I've known would not be okay with any of the stuff said, because as Christians we acknowledge everyone is a human. We are all meant to be together and to live together in this world. We're all meant to live in harmony. Obviously there are some real people that are just straight up racist, straight up homophobic. But even though Christians have this rep as being homophobic specifically because our religion and our God tells us that homosexuality is wrong, and it's clearly stated that because of the sin in this world, it is something that occurs as you are rejecting the way God created you to embrace this alternative lifestyle. The idea of hating on that person or wishing death or any sort of violence or anything like that is horrible. Why would you want to do that to someone? We all have our own freedoms in this world. I may not agree with your freedoms. I may not agree with who you end up sleeping with. But that's your choice. I don't have any say over that. Something that we often get misquoted on is because we're Christians and we don't believe. You growing up a Christian should not make you want to hurt or be racist or homophobic, because the Bible does not call us to be that way. God calls us to love one another. Christian, non-Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jewish, Sikh, Hindu. Dude, there are so many different religions. Obviously, if you do live in a smaller area that maybe doesn't have as many different, to have that growing up be a way of putting down other, hey dude, what's up? Putting down other people of different cultures, backgrounds, sexualities, that sort of stuff. That's not cool, because the world will be the world. God is God, and God has called Christians specifically to be higher and to have more rigid rules about them, but for the rest of the world, it doesn't really matter, bro. SpiderMan Lotus was announced a while ago, and it was supposed to be coming out in a few months, but looks like it may not be happening anymore. If we'll see it is a whole nother question, because the one actor in it, Mora Brooklyn, said she was removing all of her involvement with it. So I don't know if that means she's going to be like, I quit, and they're just going to have to work with what they've got. I'm assuming the filming has finished by now. Or if that means she's going to be like, no, I don't want my name attached to this project at all, so that means they have to remove everything that has her in it. So that would obviously just be like, oh shoot, we got to reshoot everything with you. Or it may just get, you always have to have a control of your tongue. And it's hard because we as humans do not have a strict control over our tongue. So sometimes we're gonna say stupid stuff. I've said stupid stuff. Internet culture does not allow you to be forgiven or to grow past that. Moving on to some other news that I saw. This one in movie culture, right? There's this side that is wholly like MCU stans. They know everything that's going on. They know they go to see every movie. They see everything. Every movie that comes out, every tidbit of news, they eat up, and they're excited for. Or maybe they're just like, oh, that's cool, and then they move on with their day. And then there's the other side of it that they don't know. Okay, so Encanto made $256 million. Nice. Don't know what its budget was, but Disney, I don't know if they really care. And then, yeah, so it was just 1.4 bill. But yeah, so obviously there was a higher demand for Frozen 2, but considering how the story was kind of destroyed, people may not be as interested in a third one. Why is my throat giving out? I gotta stop talking, maybe. Disney is probably gonna greenlit a sequel of some kind, or a spinoff. I think they're already working on a spinoff in the background. Ironically, as soon as I ended streaming, I realized that there was something I missed that I could have brought up. This is reportedly a Jon Snow series for, obviously, the great and famous Game of Thrones. I mean, who hasn't heard of Game of Thrones? Some people probably have. Who hasn't watched Game of Thrones? Probably a lot more people. HBO really wants to make sure you know that Game of Thrones is still popular and relevant and totally wasn't killed by that final season. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate the view. If you are interested in catching me on stream, I stream most days at twitch.tv/Malachi. If not, just hang out. It's been fun. Like, subscribe, comment. If you have any thoughts about this stuff, dude, comment below, dude. I wanna know what you guys think about it all. Gonna be trying this new sort of thing going forward because I wanna try to regularize some of my content for the YouTubes. So yeah, peace.